So, you want to build some serious strength, right? Maybe transform your body or just kick your training up a notch? Well, the right program is absolutely everything. But here's the catch. The perfect routine for a beginner can totally hold back an expert. Today, we're going to break down the right workout plan for your specific experience level.
Look, we've all been there. You walk into the gym, you see all the machines, all the weights, and you're either completely overwhelmed or you're just stuck in that same old routine that stopped giving you results months ago. We're here to fix that.
Okay, first things first, you gotta be honest with yourself about where you're at. And this isn't about how much you can bench press. It's all about how long you've been training consistently. If you have less than a year of solid, consistent lifting under your belt, you're a beginner. 1 year or more, you're intermediate. And if you've got 2+ years of dedication, you're in the advanced category. Knowing this is the key, because it tells us exactly where to start.
So here's how we're going to break this down for you, a clear, progressive journey. We'll start with the beginner's foundation, then we'll show you exactly how to level up to intermediate, and finally, we'll dive into the advanced challenge. It's a straight shot from just starting out to truly mastering your training.
Let's start with the beginner's foundation. And trust me, this is the most crucial stage. Why? Because if you get this right, you're going to see the fastest progress of your entire fitness journey. Seriously, this is where the magic happens. Here's the most important thing to understand as a beginner. Your body is like a sponge. It's not used to this kind of stress yet, so pretty much any new exercise is going to trigger muscle and strength gains. That means your goal isn't to crawl out of the gym, not at all. It's to master perfect form and learn how your body feels without overdoing it. Okay, so here's what a sample day 1 might look like. You'll notice right away it's a full body workout. We've got squats for your legs, bench press for your chest and shoulders, rows for your back, and planks to build a rock-solid core. This works so well because you're stimulating all your major muscles multiple times a week, which is like constantly flipping the on switch for muscle growth in a body that's just ready to explode with progress. So let's nail down the beginner's game plan. Stick to 3 full body sessions a week. This gives you plenty of time to recover and grow. Make perfect form your number 1, 2, and 3 priority. And as you get stronger, don't just rush to throw more plates on the bar. Focus on adding another rep, then another set. That's how you build a real foundation. All right, so you've been hitting it hard for about a year. You've built a solid base, but maybe you've noticed something. Those newbie gains are starting to slow down. That's not a bad thing. It's a sign you're ready for the next level, intermediate training. As an intermediate lifter, you've graduated. Your technique should be pretty solid by now, which means your body needs a bigger, badder challenge to keep growing. The key word here is volume. We need to increase the total amount of work you're doing, and that means more sets, more reps, and more weight. Now check out this sample upper body day. The big change? We're not doing full body anymore. We're splitting the workouts. Why? Well, your muscles are tougher now. They need more focused attention to grow. This split lets you dedicate an entire session just to your upper body, hammering it with more volume, like those 4 sets of bench press, than you could ever fit into a full body day. So the whole strategy shifts. You're moving up to 4 sessions a week, usually splitting it between upper and lower body. This lets you hit each muscle group with way more volume. Your goal now is to gradually add weight to the bar and, every so often, switch up your exercises to keep your body guessing and prevent burnout. All right, now, for those of you who've been dedicated for 2 years or more, you've put in the time, you've built the strength, it's time for the final stage, the advanced challenge. This is all about wringing out every last drop of your genetic potential. And look, the leap from intermediate to advanced, it's huge. You're going from 4 days a week to 6. You're ditching the simple upper/lower split for a much more complex push-pull-legs routine. This whole setup is incredibly efficient. It lets you hammer each muscle group twice a week with maximum intensity, but it's structured in a way that still allows for recovery. This requires a serious commitment. So how in the world do you cram even more work into your sessions? Well, you use powerful techniques like the superset. This is where you do 2 exercises, one right after the other, with 0 rest in between. Think of it as a 1-2 punch for your muscles. It's an insane way to increase your work density and force your muscles to adapt by getting bigger and stronger. Just to give you a taste of the intensity, here's a piece of a pull-A workout. It kicks off with heavy, low-rep deadlifts for pure, raw strength. Then it's right into high-rep pull-ups for muscle growth. And to top it off, a brutal superset of hammer curls and shrugs.
This pace is absolutely grueling, and it's all designed for one thing: maximum possible results. So to wrap up the advanced principles, you're in the gym 6 days a week. You're hitting every muscle group hard twice. You're using intensity boosters like supersets, and you're pushing your final sets to absolute failure. That means you go until you physically can't do one more rep with good form. This is not for the faint of heart, and it absolutely requires years of training under your belt. Okay, so we've covered the workouts, but that's only half the battle, right? Because a routine is only as good as your ability to sustain it. The work doesn't stop when you leave the gym. Let's talk about the two things that support everything else: nutrition and training for the long haul. This quote really says it all. Think of it this way: your workout is the architect drawing up the blueprints for a bigger, stronger body. But your nutrition? That's the construction crew that actually builds the thing. Without the right fuel for recovery, you're just leaving all your hard-earned gains on the table. So what does that look like in practice? Well, the basics are pretty simple. You've got to eat enough total calories to support your training. You absolutely have to prioritize protein to repair and build muscle, and you need a good balance of carbs and fats for energy. Using a calorie counter, even just for a little while, can be a real eye-opener to figure out what your body actually needs. Now let's talk about longevity. As we get older, our bodies naturally start to lose a bit of muscle and bone mass. But here's the amazing news. Resistance training is one of the most powerful weapons we have to fight that process. Training over 40 just means we need to make a few smart adjustments. And probably the single biggest shift you need to make is right here: recovery. It's just a fact of life. As you age, your body needs a bit more time to recuperate. That's why for lifters over 40, this recommendation is key. Allow at least 2 full days of recovery between your intense workouts. It's the smart play to prevent injuries and make sure you're actually getting stronger. At the end of the day, for seasoned lifters, the goal is to train smarter, not just harder. That might mean choosing exercises that are a little easier on your joints, really listening to your body, and prioritizing that recovery time. And hey, there's no shame in starting with the beginner program if you've been out of the game for a while. That's the smartest move you can make. Ultimately, look, your path to strength is going to be your own. It'll be unique. But the core principles, they're universal. A well-structured training program that's perfectly matched to your experience level, combined with smart nutrition, those are the foundational steps to getting in the absolute best shape of your life. We've laid out the entire roadmap for you, from that very first day in the gym all the way to becoming an advanced athlete. You know the path. You know the principles. So the only real question left is, what's your next level?